What up, YouTube? Johnny Reagan back here, and we're going to go over the tutorial for Space Combat Space Flight. This is a bit of a long one. I'll try to make it as short but concise as I can. It's kind of a lot of ground to cover. So, without further ado, let's get cracking on this. Alright, we fought for the Empire last time. Let's fight for the League this time. Looks familiar? You're going to see it in every map. Again, go up to that panel, hit use, you'll get the little hologram briefing, but for now, we'll sit here and hit F, and then it will give us the choice to spawn or vote for our commander. We'll click vote for AI, and it should take us to our mission, which is a space mission, bunch of ice asteroids. Okay, so with this map, we have 5 objectives. It's conquest. You're going to be taking these 5 capture points. Of course, up here it's indicated how many we own, and then the percentage until the completion being 100%. Uh, on the top left, we have 2 different ships to choose from, the Yoshiro and the Swift. We're going to go ahead and spawn on the Swift, and because we want to fly a ship and not the capital ship itself, we're going to spawn at a hangar. Click deploy, and here we go. Now it should be noted that while infantry weapons aren't as important as, say, ships, you can be boarded. And so one thing you should always have on you if you don't feel like defending your ship is at least your multi-wrench tool. And that is because this will repair components of the ships that are damaged, whether it's from the inside out or from brute force from other capital ships or bombers. Let me go ahead and look for a console real quick to show you guys what they look like to repair. It's quite a large ship. Uh, yeah, it's kind of cool when you're taking damage. You'll actually see like walls getting blown out, atmosphere getting sucked out. Anyways, so here's our engines. Our engine console. When things are taking damage, um, it'll indicate your console status at a certain percentage. Of course, 100 is full. You're actually going to look at them and hit left click, and it's going to repair. You'll see green crap coming out and repairing, um, and you'll see the console status go up in percentage. Okay, so we're back in the hangar, and you're going to notice there's a few different ship types. These big ass ones right here, these are the drop ships. Uh, this is to board enemy space stations or capital ships. What you do is you'll come in from the rear with this ramp. You'll get up here, and then to pilot it, it just go up here and it'll say pilot. In this case, the Dragoon. You hit use, you get in the cockpit. It'll show a little cutscene of you flying out, and then it'll show on the HUD like a little door opening, and that's to show you where you need to go in order to board. When you get close enough to it, it'll say hit F for auto boarding deploy. Hit F, and your ship will actually roll over and drop, and then you'll see like the pod detach, and then people can spawn in that pod to assault the ship or the space station that you've boarded, and then you can go back to the base and replenish your pod, repair if you don't get killed, etc. For those that aren't flying, that are inside, you go up this ramp when it's actually in flight, and you'll see turrets on the left and right, little turret seats that you can help defend your dropship, bro. Outside of the dropship, you have scouts, interceptors, assault fighters, and bombers. Bombers have torpedoes or railguns, as well as missiles, rockets, whatever you want to put on, like you would on a fighter. And those are used for destroying capital ships and space station defense modules. But we won't use a bomber. We're going to use a fighter here. So you walk up to this console, in this case the Rapier Interceptor, hit use, and this should be, you should know all this by now. Requisition points, weapons cost requisition points. Uh, you should note that the countermeasures is new. So you have three different types of countermeasures: flares, missile drones, and shield projectors. Flares is the cheapest. You'll hit the Z as in Zulu key, and that'll pop a flare off. If you have a lock on you, it'll say lock with flashing stripes. Hit your countermeasures, and it'll pop the flare off. The missile will go after that. They have a very slow replenish rate, though, so better be evasive when you start using it. Orbiting Lance Drone, it's like a little trophy system that flies around with you. It'll actively engage missiles for a short period of time. And then shield projector, which I like to use, is a shield projector. It just prevents you from taking any damage from guns or missiles for a short amount of time. It's got a certain amount of health. Let's go ahead and pick a missile. You could choose dumbfire rockets or light yield, good tracking missiles, or like slow but not very are very powerful but not very good at tracking. They take forever to reach their target. A lot of people like these swarm missiles, so we will use those. Primary, it's your main gun. In this case, we'll use these slow fire, heavy hitting rounds. You get the cogs, so you get the reload time, all that good stuff. You can read those later. Same thing with your armor. You can carry additional ammo. Reduces EM overload, which I guess would protect you from EMP mines, which you don't see too often. So once you've picked everything you want, click apply, and you'll see a cool little cutscene where you load into the launch bay. Since we're in hyperspace, we have to warp in, and now we get to the real meat and potatoes: how to fly. So, space combat in this game uses Newtonian physics, which means you're not exactly going to be turning on a dime. Or you can actually turn on a dime if you're not applying any thrust. But basically, you're going to be finding your own momentum inertia uh, to change vector. So, first thing you need to note is that throttle is incremental. So if I tap W, I only move a little bit. I don't have to hold it down. I can just tap it if I want. If I hold it down, I apply full throttle, and I can let go, and I'll just keep going full throttle. I can actually apply reverse throttle and fly backwards. I can also strafe left, and I can strafe right. Sorry. If I hit Q and E, I can actually roll left and roll right. If I hit period and comma, I can zoom in or zoom out. And you should note that on the bottom left, that'll be your information center. So as you can see, I'm going 1,296 kilometers per hour with full throttle. I can slow down and go in reverse, and I can go 432 kilometers per hour with reverse thrust. In the center there, you'll see the arrow, and on the outside of that, you have a gray circle. That's your afterburner fuel. That replenishes, but it allows you to change directions uh, much faster. So say you're flying forward and you're about to hit this asteroid. We get a little bit closer here, and you're like, oh man, I gotta slow down. You can of course cut your throttle, but if you want to slow down quickly, you can cut your throttle back and hit after. You can just completely change directions. Pretty useful. Also to note that because it's Newtonian physics, say you're going forward and you have someone on your six. Instead of actually turning your ship around and fighting the momentum, which because this is a interceptor, it's actually pretty nimble. You can hit middle mouse button. Click middle mouse button and you'll actually just coast. But notice how I'm still coasting at 1189 kilometers an hour, but I could still turn around and coast the same speed, roughly the same speed. So I could shoot my guy behind me, then I could flip a bitch, engage my manual gravity, and go back to my business. So you don't have to turn around. You could just turn around on a dime, coast the same way, but still shoot your guys, flip back around, engage, and then full throttle. I think a lot of people aren't aware of that. It's a pretty cool feature. As you'll note, it says point B with the sword. Like I said earlier, there's 5 capture points. If you hit escape, brings up your map. You can mark different points, so we can go to C if you want, and that is indicated right there. Like I said in my previous video, if you see a fighter or a bomber or a capital ship, whatever, you're not entirely sure what it is, you hit the G key and that'll lock your sensors onto it and it'll indicate friend or foe. It's also a way to target specific systems on capital ships. And it'll tell you on the bottom left, for instance, this is point C and I'm 500 meters in closing. And as you can see, I'm actually capping it with the percentage there in the center. Um, It'll also give you a lead indicator on that target. So like my crosshair is in the middle, it'll show that same X style crosshair, but it'll show you it in relation to where you need to aim. So you'd match your crosshair with that red crosshair and then fire, and then it should lead over and hit where you need to aim. Let's see here. So I'm capping this capital ships. You can control and pilot them. It's a pretty cool feature. Let me see if I can show you how to do that. Let me go ahead and escape. Let's go on the Swift. Oh, I'll go Yoshiro. Now we'll go Swift. And we'll go to the bridge and we'll click deploy. And that will suicide you and redeploy you on the bridge. Alright, so this is like a little cool monitor to show you that we're flying forward. Let's see. Truth be told, I actually haven't tried flying this. This looks like the crew quarters, like the captain and bridge crew would sleep there. Come over here. Let's see, aft chain guns. If you want to, this is like your weapons guy. You can hit F once you're out of hyperspace and actually engage. I think the bridge is up top. Let me see here. Oh, never mind, steering wheel. So you got the steering wheel up. Look at that. And this will actually indicate what's going on. So you can look at that and go, oh crap, we got enemies above us, behind us, etc. So you can go over here and hit F. And this will pull us out of warp space. So here we go. And now we are out of warp. Again, period and middle mouse to zoom in and out, or sorry, period and comma to zoom in and out. And now we're flying the actual capital ship. You have turrets on the sides to help defend. Let's see if we have missiles. I don't know if we need a lock or... Okay, we got mines. So you can fire off a bunch of mines like a minefield for bombers or drop ships. Here I am holding down the fire button. I'm charging up. And boom, I'm shooting my ion beam. If you remember Homeworld. And of course you don't want to overheat it. Okay, now if I hit, let's slow down real quick. If I hit F, alright. Now let's go back to the hangar and I'll show you something else. This is really cool, guys. You know, the space part of this game is kind of hurting. It's got performance issues, a lot of rubber banding. The latest patch has helped alleviate that, but some maps are worse than others. Hopefully they get it all polished up because this can make for some really amazing gameplay. Let's go ahead and hit deploy. Alright, we shoot out the hangar. So here we go. So let's say we're firing, we're shooting off our missiles, we're shooting off mines, and we need a reload. You'd go up to the ship, right here where the hangars are, and as you close in, you see like the landing lights kind of blinking there. Come up to it and then hit F. You'll reboard the ship. You'll get your ammunition back, your health back. Okay, cool. Or you want to change your weapons. Okay, cool. Click apply, and we shoot right back out again. So that's not everything. I apologize. I don't have the enemy ship to board. It's kind of hard to show that without having some people on the server to explain this or show it and not get killed. But hopefully this gives you a kind of an idea of how to fly, how to load out, how to spawn, all that good stuff. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments below. I'll see if I can answer them. Other than that, you guys have a great day. Johnny Raygun out.